Black people still at the bottom of every socioeconomic statistic in America. Every one. When it comes to family breakdown, number one. We're at the top of everything bad, at the bottom of everything good, all right? Home ownership, bottom. Graduation rate from high school, bottom. Family development, bottom. Income, bottom. But you want to talk about addicted to dope, fighting, raising hell, going to jail, burning up stuff, we at the top. So the question is, why are you celebrating the civil rights movement when black people at the bottom of every socioeconomic statistic in America? It's like celebrating a coach that's gone 0-11 for 50 straight seasons. Sam Johnson, University so-and-so, so-and-so, went 0-11 for 50 years. Let's give him a holiday. The only reason why you do that is if the coach was supposed to went 0-11. Got me? Oh, now you're getting it. Let's start at the beginning. Martin Luther King Jr., they down in Montgomery, Alabama. They mad because they can't sit beside white folks on the bus. The bus taking everybody to the same plot, but they want to sit up front with white people, and they get mad because they can't. So, Rosa Parks decides not to give up her seat. Rosa Parks was an operative, okay? She went to the Highlander Folk School, which was a communist training camp up in Montreal, Tennessee. Yeah, look up Highlander Folk School. Started by 3 communists, Miles Norton and Dombrowski and another dude. They started the school. They're a bunch of communists, and they taught them how to start the civil rights movement and use quote-unquote nonviolent tactics to cause violence and start a communist revolution in America. So Rosa Parks was an operative. This was all a setup, okay? So Rosa sits there, gets kicked off, and then they started the Montgomery bus boycott. All right. After the Montgomery bus boycott, Martin Luther King Jr. led it. This guy by the name of Bayard Rustin, he went down to check out the Montgomery bus boycott, and he saw Martin Luther King Jr. And, Martin Luther King Jr. was magic. Guy's charismatic, smart, great speaker, and he was brave. So Bayard went and found one of his communist friends. Guy's name was Stanley Levinson, whose job was to push communism all over the United States of America. The weird thing was Stanley Levinson was very rich. And when he met Martin Luther King Jr., he said, "This is our guy." So Stanley Levinson had a lawyer friend by the name of Clarence Jones. Clarence Jones was also a communist, but he was a lawyer up in New York. So Clarence Jones, Bayard Rustin, Stanley Levinson put together the Southern Leadership Conference. Yep, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, the SELC. That was Martin Luther King's organization. They set it up. I know you don't believe me. Check it out. Stanley Levinson, Bayard Rustin, Clarence Jones did the paperwork to start the SCLC. 3 communists. Now, why do you think they'd want to do that? Well, they wanted somebody to run the SELC, so they found themselves another communist. This guy's name was Jack O'Dell. Hunter Pitts O'Dell. Look him up. You'll find out that Jack O'Dell was also a communist. So I've just named you 4 communists that not just started the SELC, but ran the SELC. You got it? Martin Luther King Jr. is the front man. Stanley Levinson raised the money, got King his book deals, edited King's books. But here's the coolest thing about Stanley Levinson. They'll let you know that he was an operative. They'll let you know that he was up to no good. Stanley Levinson was Martin Luther King Jr.'s best white friend. They talked incessantly on the phone. They met all the time. There's not one picture of Martin Luther King Jr. with Stanley Levinson. If you do see one, it's one that they took by accident. I think there might be one out there when he was introducing them to a whole bunch of rich Jewish people up in New York City. But it's none where they're standing there posing. He was always in the background. He was always hiding. Well, the FBI knew about Stanley Levinson. But they found out about Stanley a little bit too late. They had organized a march on Washington, and the Kennedy brothers had put their signature on this thing. And J. Edgar Hoover came to them and said, hey, man, I think we got a problem. So what's that? They said, well, Martin Luther King Jr. hanging out with Stanley Levinson, Bayard Rustin, Jack O'Dell. And we are affiliated with this guy now. We got to, obviously he doesn't know these guys are communists, so we got to stop this. Well, John F. Kennedy met with, Bobby Kennedy told King to cut it out, leave these guys alone. He wouldn't do it. So John F. Kennedy grabs King and said, look, man, you got these communists in your mess. You got Stanley Levinson, you got Jack O'Dell, you got Hunter Pence, and you got Bayard Rustin. These guys have got to go because they're communists. King tried to deny it, and Kennedy said, do you think I just pulled these guys' names out of the hat? I'm affiliated with you now. If you go down, I go down. Get rid of them. King said he would, but he lied. Well, J. Edgar Hoover heard about this group of communists meeting at Dorchester, Georgia. He set up some cameras to see who was going to show up. And lo and behold, Martin Luther King Jr. shows up with this nest of spies. He brought the pictures back to Bobby Kennedy and said, I thought he was going to cut these people loose. Bobby Kennedy saw the king had lied to him, and that's when they put the wiretaps on him and found out about his orgies and his quote-unquote unnatural sex acts, which was FBI talk for homosexuality and all this kind of stuff. Why would Martin Luther King Jr., a black minister, be affiliated with a political group that, if they won, would insist that God be taken out of the public square or taken out of America completely? Why? Well, let's look at King's teachings. Jones, the communist. Stanley Levinson, the communist. Both admit they wrote the I Have a Dream speech. Bayard Rustin organized the March on Washington. Matter of fact, they got a Netflix movie about it. Yeah, they all organized it. A bunch of people that don't believe in God. So what is the civil rights movement about, y'all? Is it about us going out there depending on God for what we get? What does our Bible say? I was young, but now I'm old, but I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor a seed beg bread. What does our Bible say? I don't care what you do, but for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. Huh? What does the Bible tell us to do? Depend on our God for what we need. For he cares for us. Is that what King taught us? No. He told us 100 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, the Negro is still not free.